There was a time when we would sit around a single screen with our families, absorbing the news like it was gospel. The anchorman's voice was firm, steady, and seemed to hold the world in place. We trusted those words. We built our perceptions of the world, of people, of countries, even of ourselves, through what was fed to us by the media. It wasn't just a source of information, it was a source of truth, but something has shifted. We live in a world where truth feels like a currency, traded, twisted, and tailored to fit agendas, where headlines scream louder than facts, where speed is valued more than accuracy, and where noise is often mistaken for news. So the question is not just, can we trust the media anymore, but also, what does trust even mean in a time like this? We are surrounded by screens, phones, televisions, tablets, each flashing stories, each fighting for our attention, each claiming to be breaking news. But pause, just pause and ask yourself, how often do we question what we consume? How often do we truly reflect on what we're being told? And more importantly, what we're not. Trust, in its essence, is about consistency. It's about knowing that the hand that holds you today will not push you tomorrow. But the media, it has become a landscape of contradictions. One channel says this, the other says that. One post goes viral and creates outrage before it's even verified. And suddenly your mind is racing, your heart is anxious, and you're not even sure what you're reacting to. Let me be clear, the media is powerful. Incredibly powerful. It can raise voices, ignite revolutions, bring down corruption. But with that power comes responsibility. And with that responsibility, there must be integrity. But we see a game being played, a dangerous one. The game of sensationalism, of clickbait, of fear-mongering, of taking a fragment of truth and blowing it into a wildfire of opinion, speculation, and bias. And while it plays out like entertainment, real lives are being impacted. Real reputations are being destroyed. Real trust is being broken. And what's heartbreaking is that amidst all this noise, the real stories, the ones that matter, are getting lost. The farmer struggling to feed his family, the girl in a remote village fighting for her right to education, the climate crisis silently stealing our future. These stories don't make headlines often because they're not flashy. They don't sell ads, but they are the stories that shape humanity, that reflect who we are, that deserve our attention, and yet we are distracted. I'm not here to villainize the media. That would be unfair and untrue. There are still journalists out there, brave, honest, and relentless, risking their lives to uncover truth. In war zones, in political battles, in dark corners of society where others don't dare to look. And they deserve our respect, our support, our gratitude. But we must also acknowledge that the landscape has changed. That media is no longer just journalism. It is entertainment. It is business. It is politics. It is influence. So where does that leave us? It leaves us with responsibility. Yes, we the consumers, we the audience, we who choose what to click on, what to share, what to believe. We cannot control the media, but we can control our minds. We can ask the hard questions. We can look beyond the surface. We can stop reacting emotionally to headlines and start responding thoughtfully to facts. Trust is not just something we give. It's something we must build, brick by brick, through awareness, through discernment, and through courage. And positive thinking must not be up for debate. And through courage, the courage to sit in discomfort, the courage to admit when we were wrong, the courage to seek truth even when it's inconvenient. And this trust, it doesn't begin on the television screen or the news app. It begins with us. Ask yourself, do I verify before I share? Do I seek opposing perspectives before I form an opinion? Do I hold myself accountable for the narratives I contribute to? Because every time we share misinformation, every time we fuel outrage without reason, every time we believe something because it aligns with our biases, we are not just consuming media, we are becoming it. We are all part of the system now. The lines have blurred. We are no longer just the audience, we are the amplifiers. So let's be better. Let's raise the standard. Let's hold the media accountable, yes, but let's hold ourselves accountable too. Let's demand transparency. Let's support ethical journalism. Let's pay attention to who is telling the story, why they're telling it, and who benefits from us believing it. And most importantly, let's protect our peace. Because in this constant flood of information, we are losing something sacred. Our stillness, our clarity, our connection to reality. We are living in echo chambers, constantly reacting, constantly judging, constantly performing, outrage. But silence can be powerful too. Taking a step back, breathing, researching, reflecting. That is power. So the next time you see a headline designed to provoke you, ask yourself, what's the full story? Who's behind it? What's the agenda? And does this bring me closer to truth or further from it? In a world where truth is often buried under layers of opinion, manipulation, and chaos, choose to be someone who digs deeper, who asks the second question, who doesn't settle for noise. Because trust is not about being told what to believe, it's about knowing how to think. And that perhaps is the most powerful thing the media can never take from you, unless you let it. So no, the question isn't simply can we trust the media anymore? The real question is, can we trust ourselves to think beyond it? The world doesn't need more outrage. It needs more wisdom, more discernment, more people willing to listen, to learn, and to lead with integrity. So let's be those people. Let's not just consume information, let's honor it. Let's not just demand truth, let's embody it. And let's not just point fingers. Let's raise voices, not to shout over each other, but to remind one another that in the end, truth doesn't scream, it whispers. And only those willing to listen will truly hear it.